Good morning, Lakeview Intermediate. Today is Wednesday, October the 27th. It's 80s Day, and this is Lakeview Liftoff Live. I loved seeing so many great 80s outfits and hairstyles and clothes colors and bright neons and all that. So, wow, great job, Lakeview. You sure brought it. And teachers, don't forget, take some pictures today of each other. Maybe if you got great pictures of students that are participating, and put them in for our yearbook. We need great yearbook pictures showing our awesome Red Ribbon Week participation. So love it. Everybody keep it up. And so let's get to our morning announcements. And we'll start by bringing in our wonderful assistant principal, Mrs. Frame. Good morning, Mrs. Frame.
Good morning.
Are you all about 80s Day today? Got your school shirt on?
I do have my school shirt on.
Awesome. All right, well, let's get to our morning announcements today. Real quick, just a reminder that fall parties for 4th and 5th grade are on Friday. And so students, many of your parents signed up to help out with donating, bringing food items, snack items for your fall parties. Parents cannot visit fall parties, unfortunately, but many of your parents might be talking about bringing something by. You can bring those things by either tomorrow or Friday morning, or a parent can drop them off. You'll just bring those things to the office, and we'll have a procedure for drop off of that. But if you have a parent asking about that, you bring those either tomorrow or Friday morning. Will be just fine for fall parties. In 6th grade, I know you don't have a fall party, kind of a bummer. That's part of getting older. Sometimes that fun kid stuff we don't do, but we do have something fun planned for you sometime soon. So just be on the lookout, right, Mrs. Frame?
That's right.
We're not going to forget our 6th graders, even though we're not, doing fall parties. We're not going to forget you.
Nope, we won't.
Promise. All right. So it is also, of course, just another reminder. We just talked about today being 80s Day. Tomorrow is Camo Day. So wear your camouflage. That could be like hunting camouflage, or it could the stuff that looks like trees and leaves and stuff like that, or it could be like maybe army gear. That would work too. So any type of camo would be great for tomorrow. And if you have a hat that has camouflage on it, you do have my permission to wear that, but it has to have the camo on it. And then Friday is favorite team day. So think of your absolutely most favorite team, or I guess you could wear multiple teams. You could have one team's jersey, another team's hat. I don't know. But however you want to represent your favorite team, could be UConn Millers, could be OSU Cowboys, could be OU Sooners, could be Dallas Cowboys. I don't know. You pick a favorite team and represent on Friday. That'll be fun. And again, it's all about Red Ribbon Week and showing that we are all in for a healthy lifestyle and healthy choices our entire lives. And Mrs. Mann is going to visit with us about that in just a couple minutes. All right. Oh, you know what that sound means, Mrs. Frame?
Yes.
It's time for... I think, there it is, the Miller 5 shout-out. So this morning, I've got a couple Miller 5 shout-outs, Mrs. Frame. Here's the students we are shouting out today. I'm very excited to recognize Fabian Shavira, Micah Ulu, and Emma Mackey. I'm looking at you. You want to know why? Let me tell you why Fabian, Micah, and Emma are so amazing. So first off, Mrs. McCormick wanted us to know that Fabian and Micah, she said, these young men helped me rearrange desks without her having to ask them to. The other kids were seated on the floor and visiting, which is what Mrs. McCormick had asked them to do. But Micah and Fabian hopped up and helped her readjust desks for new seating. And she said that really helped her a lot, and she appreciated their consideration and relational actions. It was very polite and considerate to not make Mrs. McCormick move a bunch of furniture around the room. So that's not only relational, it's a very gentlemanly thing to do. And so very, very proud of Fabian and Micah for that. And then Emma, Mrs. Dixon says, Emma went out of her way to help a student who was frustrated with an assignment. We all know that happens. I get frustrated still. You're like, what, Mr. Hine, you're a principal. I bet you don't get, oh, yes, I do. Sometimes I have jobs I have to do for my bosses that frustrate me. So I loved hearing this. Emma went out of her way to help a student who was frustrated with an assignment. She took her time and worked with this student until that student understood the assignment. So another awesome example. 3 very helpful students, helping adults, helping each other. Fantastic examples. And that's why Fabian, Mike, and Emma, you are today's Miller 5 shout out. Very good. All right. So next, let's bring in Mrs. Mann for another episode of Pixelated Pieces. Good morning, Mrs. Mann.
Good morning.
The Pixelated Pieces logo itself has that 80s vibe going.
It really does. Hey, teachers, don't forget to help us out and take yearbook pictures today, all week, really, because Mr. Hine and I were in parking lot duty this morning. We saw some rad-looking kids getting out of cars this morning. So
Rad, totally rad. Wow, that was good.
Hey, I'm trying real hard. So today's a holiday. Of course, at Lakeview, it's 80s Day. But the other holiday that we have
there. Sorry.
is, it's National Potato Day. So eat a potato, however you want it. French fried, mashed, hash browned, in soup.
Tater tots,
whatever. Pick a potato and cook it up somehow and eat a potato today. Any way you like it.
Sounds good.
So, but today in Pixelated Pieces, I have just a couple of slides to show you. We're going to talk a little bit more about Red Ribbon Week and what that means. And so, thank you. So, it's Red Ribbon Week 2021. So first thing I want to talk to you about, I want to talk to you about medicine, because sometimes we forget about medicine. Medicine is actually considered drugs. And in fact, a long time ago, pharmacies were called drugstores. So that's just a little background knowledge for you if you didn't already know that. So if an older person or somebody says, I'm going to the drugstore, don't panic. They're going to the pharmacy. Okay. But here's the thing I want you to understand. You're only supposed to take medicine from people that you know and trust. Your parents, maybe a doctor, a nurse, that includes our school nurse, or someone your parent has talked to. So for instance, if you take medicine at school, there are only certain people, even at school, that are allowed to give you medicine because we've all had to be trained and we have paperwork and all kinds of things. So be careful who you take medicine from. Okay. Don't just go through your house finding medicine and say, oh, I've got a headache. I've got this. I've got that. Let me just take this, because your parents really need to know what's being put in, because sometimes medicines they interact in your body and you're not supposed to take one kind of medicine and another kind of medicine together because they don't mix well. So be careful, even with medication. Never take medicine from another kid or a stranger. So if you have a headache and another student offers you medicine, which you're not supposed to be carrying in your backpack anyway, but somebody offers it to you, do not take it. I hope you heard me say that. Don't take it, because you really don't know what that is or if you're supposed to be taking that or not. Maybe you think, oh, I take that all the time at home, it's going to be fine. You guys, we're just not going to do that. We just have to be very careful. I'm an adult. I still have to be very careful about what I'm taking and what I make sure I don't mix medicines together that aren't supposed to be together. So be careful with medication. All right. The next thing is alcohol. And I kind of talked about this the other day. You know, the law kind of makes a statement for you. It says that you cannot choose to drink alcohol because you're not 21 years old. And that's right. It's a choice once you become 21. So you're not 21. The law chooses for you. You don't need to be drinking alcohol, consuming it, touching it, walking it around to people. You don't need to be doing that. Okay. Let me tell you something else, because we've got lots of kiddos that are doing amazing things. If you're in the park or somewhere and you're trying to just pick up trash, which thank you for that, and you see beer bottles or whatever, I don't even want you to pick those up. Okay. Because you don't need to be touching those things. Thank you for your kind heart, but I don't want someone to misconstrue and think that you've got a beer bottle or a can or something in your hand. So please just be careful with what you do. Okay. All right. The next one I believe is tobacco. And hey, you know what? The law makes a statement about this too. It says you have to be 18 years old before you can choose to use tobacco. So once again, friends, you are not old enough to be using any of these products. Okay. So tobacco includes cigars, cigarettes, e-cigarettes, chewing tobacco. Here's the thing. Every single one of these products contains nicotine and some other additives that can be addictive. E-cigarettes are very popular. You've probably heard of vaping. Okay. And it's supposed they're doing studies and looking at things thinking it might be less harmful than an actual cigarette, but they really don't know how it affects the body. There's not this smoke that is so bad for everyone, but these things are still bad for the person who is vaping. So you are not old enough to even choose that habit. Okay. So if you see people vaping, if someone offers you that, a cigarette, if they offer you alcohol, any of those things, you need to stay away from them. You are not old enough to make that choice. And then I think the last one that I had on here, yes, illegal drugs. They are just that. They're illegal. So you have to be very careful. There are all kinds of new things being mixed together, coming out all the time. They have different names. They'll change the name of them. They look different. So listen up, friends. A lot of them right now, they look like candy. And so you've got to be very careful. Okay. I recommend you don't even take candy from other kids at school because you just don't know what things are. Hey, you know what holiday's coming up? Halloween, right? And that's this weekend, and you're probably going to get lots of candy. So you need to be careful with the candy that you do get, because I don't know why, but there are some people in this world that just want to hurt kids. So make sure you let your parents or a trusted adult check your candy before you chow down, just to be on the safe side. I would rather have a kiddo be safe and have to wait and be patient than to be sorry. And you may be thinking, I don't want to wait. I'm not patient. Well, guess what? I remember having to sit there and wait, and I'm still alive. So you can wait and be patient while your parents check your candy. Okay, last thing. I really, really want you to hear me on this. These are the 3 steps I want you to know. If someone, a stranger, someone you know, a friend offers you something, medication, tobacco, alcohol, drugs, any of those things, and you know deep down, I don't need to have this. I want you to say no in your very firm voice. It's not no, it's no in your very firm voice. Okay. And then you need to get away from that situation. You need to run away if you have to. Okay. So get out of that situation, and you need to go find a trusted adult and let them know what happened, because you were smart enough not to fall for this trick, but there might be other kiddos who might not be as brave as you, or they may not understand, or they may not have been taught this. And so we want to protect other kids as well. And listen to me, guys. If someone who is supposedly your friend is offering you something that is harmful for your body, and because they're trying to make you look cool or whatever, they're not your friend. This is your body, and you have to protect your health, and it is your choice. So we're talking about safe and healthy choices. So you have to make the very brave choice to say no, and to stand up and say, I'm not putting those things in my body because I don't know how it's going to react in my body. So even if they make fun of you, or they call you a baby, or whatever, tell you you're uncool, you know what? Your body's going to be healthier for it. So say no in your strong voice, get out of the situation, and go tell a trusted adult.
Great reminders, Mrs. Mann. One of the words you said in the earlier slides was talking about many of these substances are addictive. And unfortunately, I even know of former students who used to be at Lakeview many, many years ago, but there's students that try something because they don't say no and they don't get away, and then they keep using that, and it ends up creating a string of negative choices where they lose their job, have things happen where they are distant from their families. Sometimes they have very serious health issues of their own. And it's very sad to me to see someone spiral with those choices. And so that's why we do this. That's why we communicate this. We love all of our students. We care about all of you, and we don't want that to happen to any of you. We want to hear that you're healthy, happy, successful citizens as you grow older. And so this is part of that.
And thinking back to that video about that kiddo talking to us about healthy or having a positive attitude, I keep going back to the statement, choices you make as a kid are habits you develop into adulthood. Yep. So make this a healthy habit that you're going to say no to these unhealthy addictions and things for your body while you're a child.
Very good. Well, thank you for this very important message, Mrs. Mann. We definitely appreciate it. And everyone, take it to heart. You can watch this again to remember the reminders. Very, very important stuff. All right. Well, that's very serious. So let's lighten it up a bit with a corny joke of the day before we get classes started. Let me get Liftoff back on screen here. Here we go. Corny joke of the day. Got to get my hat on. So this was a teacher submission. Here we go. Corny joke. Ladies, I got hit in the head with a can of pop yesterday.
Ouch.
Did
Yeah.
soda hurt?
It soda hurt, but luckily it was a soft drink.
Oh,
Thank you to Mr. Rhodes for that one. That was a great one. Mr. Rhodes turned that in for me. Okay, but I'm not going to let you all off the hook yet. I know we're out of time. Teachers, forgive us. That was a very important message from Mrs. Mann. But since in the spirit of 80s Day, just for our teachers, maybe some students, if you're really savvy with 80s stuff, I'm going to give you some bonus jokes of the day. You ready, Mrs. Mann? These are going to come at you really fast. So bonus 80s jokes for our teachers. Why should you get a DeLorean as a second car? So you can drive it from time to time.
there you go.
What's Mr. T's girlfriend's name?
Mrs. T.
April Fools.
Oh, my word. I pity the fool.
And why did the 80s kit put the manger scene in the center of the room? You know, Christmas manger scene?
I don't know.
Because nobody puts Bay in the corner.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
And with that, there's your 80s Day.
Just wow. Wear your camo tomorrow and make good choices, friend.
I can feel hundreds of students out there going, what?
What?
I know. I'm sorry, students, but hopefully your teacher loved those jokes. All right. And if you did get any of those jokes, students, I'm very proud of you. Good for you. Sometimes we got kids who are really up to speed on classic stuff. So, all right. Thank you, Mrs. Mann. Have a great day. All right, Mrs. Frame, let's do our pledges so we can launch this day.
Students, go ahead and stand up. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of Oklahoma. Its symbols of peace unite all people. You may be seated for your moment of silence. During this time, you may reflect, meditate, pray, or engage in other silent activity.
All right, we are out of time. Thank you, teachers, for giving us a couple extra minutes for some real corny jokes, but a more important Red Ribbon Week message. Let's launch this day, Mrs. Frame. We are
Lakeview.
We are not
Average.
We will strive
For the Miller 5.
And whatever it takes, we will
Grow.
3, 2, 1.
Liftoff.
Have a wonderful Wednesday, everybody.